Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for the 1st of October, Friday. So with Amazon here, there's a few things that I don't know and a few things that I do know. So the things that I do know is that, first of all, this hasn't really finished up here as wave 3. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We've got an impulse wave here. We've got an impulse wave here. But we've only got 2 of them. The only other impulse wave is we can grab from over here. But do we look at this as wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then have 3, 4 and 5? I don't think so. It doesn't really sort of make much sense to me. Do you know what I mean? I sort of think that this is better over here, and this is some sort of wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then wave 1 here and A, B, C for wave 2. And the other point here too is that we've got 5 waves in this move here. So even though this has crept down a little bit below the 61.8% here, I'll take it down to the 78.6. It still leaves us with a 3-wave move here. So I'm expecting a move up here, but this move here could be, further up here in all of that. So I'm not that worried about it. I know there's pressure at the moment to the downside on a lot of stocks, but that's and not all stocks are heading in that direction. We've got Tesla sort of pushing up and so on. So I'm just going to keep an eye on any long trades in this little area that's really based off this impulse wave through here, because we should get another move in that case. And so let's just go in and have a little look at that on the tick chart. So, the strong case for the upside here, and this is kind of against the grain of other stocks to a point, but we've got 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 and 4 and 5. Now, it's a pretty beautiful sequence there. As I mentioned before, the only thing is there's a little bit of a sort of a twist in the count up at this point, but it's so small it shouldn't affect the rest of the count, We've had this ABC down, and then we monitored this situation. We didn't really get 5 waves up here. We only got 3 waves up. So I wonder, if we've been looking at as an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming to the C wave. And this 3,250 area here basically is the 78.6 retracement level. So if this was going to be bearish, then the 3-3, the way that it's sort of hugging this sort of number here, and it was support, and now that's its first thing as resistance here, so it can come back and check it again and so on, but it should push down. So in this here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here, and probably 1, 2, I don't know, it's just cutting hairs, but trying to find the low in here, because it's kind of interesting, because we'll track 5 waves in this move here somewhere, right? And if this market gives us a classic trading levels pattern sitting on this level here, then we're going to be going long. And it should be, if I'm right, it should be a really good trade at that point. A longer term trade, and we'll be getting in at this low here. So we'll keep an eye on that. We also need to understand too that if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, the other side to this, the other side of the coin, of course, is that we would look for this top here to wherever the low is here, and we would have a 50-60% retracement here, so to speak. Did this one here do the same? Let's just check on that for a moment. Looks pretty close. So it's got a habit of working with its 50%. So we'll keep that in mind when we look at this here, because what we do need to be mindful of is that we don't just get this move down through here and then some sort of 3-wave correction to here and then down again at that point. So we will be mindful of that. So let's just see how this plays out. This 5th wave here is reluctantly sort of moving down. It's doing all the right things. It's come down, it's bounced. The first bounce and like a ball dropping, and the second bounce is lower and lower until it drops through, and then it goes back and tries to retest. This is the battle line here, the front line. So let's just see if it pulls itself together and finds that support on there, and we'll work that long trade up there, the same as we did here as well. Exactly the same little setup we had here and traded up. Okay, so the other point here want to make is, in most of the cases, this is just the tick chart for Google. As we've been noting, we've been getting, in a lot of cases, in a lot of markets, we've been getting working in 3 waves. So an ABC here for the A wave here, and then the B wave, and then the C wave in this case. So, and we may get that here again. I'm just waiting to see if we get from, because I've had this as an A wave, a B wave here, and looking down for a C wave here. If we get 5 waves down, or we're going to get 3 waves down. So if that's the case, then let me just check here for a moment. Did I close that off? Did I? So I'm just I started to write a book on Elliott, which I will get around to again and finish it off. This pattern here. So we're looking at a double zigzag in this particular pattern. So this one's heading to the upside, of course, but an ABC here for the W, then an ABC here for the X, and an A, B, and C here for the Y. So this is what we're seeing on the downside here. So yeah, I mean, it's possible for it to, you know, unfold into a larger triple zigzag as well with this as well. So yeah, this is the one that we're in. So a double zigzag, this combination situation. Yeah, I mean, when I finish this book, it's not that far to go really, but when I finish it, it'll be free. It's just all the basic stuff, you know. But yeah, so this could be what we're looking at with all of these markets, you know. We talked about going short here yesterday under the 72. That's sort of playing out quite nicely, and we also need to be mindful here that because it's possibly 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 coming into here, so it doesn't look like it. Looks like it wants to continue down, but there could be a rally back into wave 2 or the B wave, and then down again at that point. We'll see if we'll see what it is first. But yeah, still edging lower in this pattern. Apple here, we talked about Apple. So this move with Apple here, we've got 3 waves down for the A wave, which we'll probably have to change as well. The B wave here, which is a bit low, but we're still pushing down through here. There's a possibility on this support that we can push up, but it does appear that we're looking at the downside now. So we're looking at both of those things yesterday. So onto the tick chart here. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is really quite nice here. And then the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. There's no other way to count it than an ABC here. So this will probably have to change to a W as well. The B wave up here, I've had it so as a bit of either an A wave here and a B and a C over here. But I think we can remove that now from that point. Pop that out, just get rid of that for the time being. So yeah, if we go a WXY here as well, that means we'll be in an A and a B and a C wave here. So 3 waves rather than 5. So I'll track both of them for the time being. Looks like we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I know it's got overlap there, and the right thing to do would be to put this here for that. So looking at that in 3 waves as well, but that's okay. And then the corrective rally here coming back into our box. We've got from the top here, so we've got an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And this is probably all of wave 1 here as well, and back for wave 2. I'd have to pull that apart there. It looks like it's in 3, but we'd probably get wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 out of this. So, but that looks like it can get 5 out of that too. Just think about this for a moment. It's a bit of a choppy corrective little guy. I think the good news here is that we're in the market. was on support of the top of group 1. So 140 is the largest number. And then we've got group 1, 1, 2, and 3. It's that simple. So once the number 2 here becomes the resistance, so if that can become the resistance in the next session or so, right, then we'll be pulled down to that. So that's the thing to look for, that resistance there. It hasn't found it over here, but it's been through a whole lot of other events now, so it may do it here, but that's the first thing that I would be looking for at that point. So we can put, I don't know what you want to do with the stop, but obviously that's, you know, that's where it's going to have to sit, but I don't want to sit too far away on this. And the other point too is that, I mean, even though that looks impulsive, this is also impulsive as well. So this is probably, I don't know, I have to figure all that out, I have to ponder it, just haven't had the time, but this is impulsive here to a point. We've got 1 and 2, well, it's only got 3 waves down here, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We haven't taken the low out, so we really want to take that low out there. So we'll just see if we also get 5 waves down. So the other move here was we want to go back to wave 4, and then we want to push down and make one more low. That's what we'd hopefully look for. Then it'll come back and test that. It'll test that in a 3-wave move at that point. So 142 is about the 50-60% retracement level at that point. We don't need that now. So let's just see if we get 5 waves. If we get 5 waves down here, then we'll test that and then we'll go down again. So we'll be okay at that point. Okay, so that's Apple. You know, this is a good case story about group 1 where the market, you know, is this is how this is why I don't short really in group 1, because it gets choppy like this. It just bounces around the numbers all the time. Okay, let's move on. So square here, we're looking at the move down. We know that we've got wave 3 in. We're confirming that because we've broken the low here, because we had this as, we could look at this as 5 waves up here as an A and a B and a C to this point here. But when we broke that low here, then it's telling us that this is not an ABC. So we can look at it as 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves down for the 3, 4, 5. Or we could look at it as an A wave here, a B wave here, and then this in blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in blue here, and that's the end of the correction as a C wave at that point. So coming back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So we'll start to shape in that little bit up again. That spike there is just, it's not actually a spike, it's just a data error from IG markets. If you're hearing me, IG markets, your data is, it really needs attention in a lot of markets, in the gold markets, in BHP. It's really bad. You know, you're not fixing it up. You're more focused on other things. So we're going to ignore that spike, and we're going to look at this here. The only difference I can make here is that we put wave 1 here. So why don't we just do that and get this party started, so to speak. Let's just push these out of the way over here for a moment. We can come back to those. And so we're going to look at this as wave 1 and 2, and this will be the 3rd wave down here, the 4th and the 5th, and then we're going to turn this into a C wave here. I think that's better shape for this. And then wave 4 there. Can we just make that a bit smaller? All good. So I think that's pretty much what we're looking at here. Okay, so let's just go into the tick chart. Okay, so we don't need the green one here anymore, but we do need to put that as, we can put that there. So we've got blue 1 and 2. I'll have to change these guys in here, but that's okay. We can put that up there now. Just keep moving these little guys around. move that, that. We could use these here as the ABC pattern here. I'll just remove these as well. In a nutshell, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we've been looking for the rally we were talking about yesterday. So we've got that rally underway. We can use that. I don't know if we talked about being short yet again, but I think that we did, obviously. So at this stage, I'll put that there. I'll just drop it down a little bit. We don't want to get snapped in. So this is our 50-60% retracement level up here. I'll just double check that things move. A little bit higher. But I'm just going to keep it on the 50 as well. I'll put that up to the 61.8%. I'm not on the 50, on the 250 rather, because that's the closest largest number and that's the most important thing, but because the 61.8% is a little bit higher. So how to count this here just yet, I don't know, just be in the guessing game a little bit, but I do feel that it's got higher to go. So we'll be, as that moves up there, we'll be able to move that up there higher and higher. Okay, so we've got half a position here. We'll keep our stop out of the way. We don't want to get over here. If you don't want to carry that, of course, with that half a position, we'll then take some money off the table. But we were playing the that was just the game that we're playing. We're just trying to get in on the 1s and 2s with all of this. And I think I might just create these. I just rearranged a few things, but I also noticed too that we may be just coming up into a 4th wave here and having the 5th wave down here. So yeah, we'll just see how that sort of travels. But even if we do click in, I'm still going to hold that situation. Yeah, that's a bit of a tricky thing now. I mean, because coming into, this is the top of group 1 over here, by the way. So obviously we got 2 here, major trading level, 1, 2 and 3, they're minor levels. So if the market comes, this is the 38.2%, if it comes to here, then it's going to bounce off here, that's what it does. And it's going to come back into this space and then down, so we could get trapped here for this. So we're probably better off selling up here and carrying this other one at that point. You know what I mean? So anyway, give that a bit of thought. I may be wrong. This might be the ABC here, but let's just put that up there, and let's see where we are tomorrow as well. But what we could do also is just play this game as well. We'll put another, because we've got some, you know, a little bit of space to work with, because we've already got some, you know, profit here. Let's just put another short in here. Let's just see how high this goes. Because I got to kind of guess it a little bit because of I'm not there at the moment, you know. But it does look like an A wave, a B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right to that point, and then drop down at that point. So even if that's the case, we'll take a closer look at that. We may be able to take some profit down here at some point. If we see 5 waves up here, for instance, then as it pulls back here, we can take some profit on that and get out, and then resell up at this point, if it means that much to you. Do you know what I mean? Depends on how you're working things. Okay, I better move along, running late today. This is also group 1 here as well, so we've got 300 in this case, but then 1, 2 and 3, so that's minor group 1 here. So you can always expect a bounce when the market comes down to number 3. Now, when I say always, it's most of the time, you know, but it's pointless me saying 95% of the time or 99% of the time, or you know, all that sort of stuff, because it always leaves that space where it could happen. So but I do find that when a market comes down and hits number 3, you'll always get the biggest bounce. So if you know that, then you can accommodate it in your own emotions, and it makes life a little bit easier. You go, okay, well, this is the bounce. What am I going to do about it, if anything, you know? And then you can always wait for the second bounce, which is lower at that point. So anyway, let's just go in and have a little look at this on the tick chart. actually. Okay, so from the top there, we've been working down, so wave 1 and 2, and looking at this as the whole third wave down. The fourth wave here didn't quite pull back up to 38.2%, but it's okay. In a lot of cases, we've also got, you know, when we look at Google and everything else, we've got this as the B wave over here. So we need to be a little bit mindful of that. But really it didn't, you know, when I look at it from this perspective here, coming down here, it didn't even get its lazy ass back up to the other wave 4 up here, let alone the 38.2%. So it's hard to call it a B wave at this point, you know, but I'm aware of that. The other thing that we need to look at here as well is that this wave 4 to wave 5 here, it is rather short, but the extensions in wave 3, so wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same. So we could call that the A wave, but I don't think that's the case now either, because that's what we did yesterday, of course. But if we consider this here down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, for all of that down as some, you know, either either we're looking at as possibly the end, but then we've got all this here. So what's that? So I'm thinking that we'll look at this as the A, the B and the C here, and then we've got to look at this as the next wave 1 down. It's a bit dodgy, but we could look at this as the third wave in here, so as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, an A and a B and a C for the fourth, and finish all that stuff, and then down for the fifth. A bit dodgy, and then back here for wave 2 again, and then working lower. So this will all be wave 1, maybe finish, maybe not, coming down, retesting, and then coming down again. So you could probably adjust that so you don't get sort of caught in there. Wait for that. Yeah, I mean, it's already retested at once there, but I'll just put it under there. You can work at that. So that should just sort of work its way, you know, that 340 that will support, you know, it's like it's in quicksand now, isn't it? You know, and it's sinking lower and lower. So we want it to lock under that. You've got to visually see it locking under that, you know. So I think it's getting there, so we can prepare to short on that. And then if that is the case, then we could look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and down for 3, 4 and 5, you know, having this lower here, either as the A wave or the B here, and so on. So yeah, this could go over here, for instance. I don't think we could leave it here at the moment, and we've got to remove that now. So we've got one of those, we don't need that. So yeah, I don't think we're going back up here just yet for that, so that's out of the game. So we're kind of left with this situation of further downside. We're in group 1 once again, 300, so 10, 20 and 30 and 40 here. So it's just going to get more bouncy coming into this area through here. So as long as you realize that, this will be number 3 here, so there will be a bounce off that. So if you're a short-term trader, then, and also don't take the money at 330. I mean, if you're an intraday trader, your job is to always refine things. So the first thing here, the real strength that's going to come in is not on the 330, but this is minor group 1, so you can go into subgroup 1, which is 1, 2 and 3 in there, so that if you wanted to take part profit, then you do it at the 3 there, so all the 3s lined up. So it's a bit higher, but then yeah, because you'll just see all the orders starting to come in, all the short covering coming in at that price. Okay, let's move along. So Tesla. Okay, so well, I can still see another little move up here. So I've just rejigged things a little bit. I could count 5 waves up there on the tick chart, but when you look at it here, you can see that that looks like wave 1 in here and wave 2 here, and this looks like wave 3 and this looks like wave 4. So I'm thinking that there's still another move to the upside here. We've already counted up to here, and we've exited the position up at this point here, so to speak. But there can be another little move above the level there, okay? So hopefully we're getting the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. It's a little bit smallish, but we can work with that a bit. So we're not kind of ready to short it yet. Let's just have a look at this. Oh no, maybe I was right. Maybe I was. So, anyway. So what I did this morning was just change things a little bit. So before, just bringing in on the thing here, let's just get a bit more data here. We had wave 3 here, and then the wave 4, which I moved the wave 4 over here, and then just had wave 5 here because we could count it up there. But then this morning I put wave 4 here and looked at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. For another move up, and it still could be the case even though I've mucked that up. I could still leave that there. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, doesn't it? But then I don't know if that's an A and a B here. I mean, because that can count as 5 waves down here. This is like 3 waves. I don't know, maybe you can get 1 and 2 in here, 3, 4, 5 here. So maybe, you know, this can be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave, back for 2, and then we're heading lower again here. So maybe I was correct up here. But the other little point that I'd like to make as well is that when we're working with this large number here, then we have group 1 above and group 2 below. So I tend not to make too many decisions in this space. I would go long above on support here, and I would go short on the 65 as the resistance, because this group here, this holds the market to that number, and this one here does the same thing as well. If the market escapes from that and find support here, well then I know it's leaving that number, heading higher or heading lower at that point. So I think we'll just chill out. This could be some more complicated sort of wave 4 going on here. But all said, things and done, we've already had wave 5 sitting over here. Let's just see. I mean, should we be shorting it? That's the other point here. So I think that that's okay to do as well, but we'll need that 65 here as the resistance. So with that being the resistance, we would need to see it like this. So this is the classic trading levels pattern to the downside. And that means that if that's the 65 through here, then the market will come down, bounce off it, come through it, and then come back and check it. And it can come back above the level. And if that's the case, then you need to work it over this side. You can still short it here, but yeah, anyway, just looking for that side. And then if you get lucky, you might see it as a much simpler pattern, which the 65 across here, so the arrival, the reaction, the first low below the level, the retest, shorting that low and the second low here. So you want that 65 as the resistance. Okay, that's what that 65 there as the resistance, that's what you're looking for. Okay, I'm just going to move that across because I need to remember what I've talked about here a little bit. And yeah, so we'll just see how that plays out. No rush on this. And if that's the case, by the way, then we also want to be shorting it under the 50, looking for the same pattern as well. And we can do that. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.